Okay, so back into video 8 on the third-person combat tutorial series. So in the last video, we set up this guy's different movement speeds, and now he can attack. The attack animation he's playing now is a bit lame. I'm going to see if I've got a better one for him. So we've got this, which is the one we've got, I think. Or there's this swiping. Yeah, which is much better. So we're gonna use that one. So go to the enemy BP and just change this punch for swiping. He's a swiper. Compile, and then I think that should look a little better. Alright, there is a bit of a bug as well, in that if you move out of his range halfway through, he'll stop his attack. I think we want to prevent that from happening. But might look at that later. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is get these attacks to register. So what we need to do is go through the same process we did for when the player was hurting the enemy. It's the same thing. So go here, right click, create a blueprint class, and type in the search bar here. If you haven't got this, just click on this drop down menu. Type what am I doing? Yeah, animation anim notify state. Anim notify state, select, and this is deal damage enemy, or enemy deal damage. Enemy deal damage underscore ANS. Open that up, come to the functions, override, receive notify tick, drag a space between. We want a sphere. We want a sphere traced by channel. Sphere traced by, don't get the multi-sphere, just a sphere traced by channel. The world context object wants to be the mesh component in the receive notify tick, and then we need to set up some sockets. So from here, mesh component, drag out and type get socket location, and then copy that. So you've got two of them, just like that. And then we're going to go set up the sockets. So we'll just close that. We've got the BP, the animation state, and we need the skeleton. So go to the enemy, mesh folder, enemy skeleton, and here we go. So he had a weapon before. Yeah, so we put it on that. So let me just look at this animation actually. Which arm does he attack with? So animation, I believe it's the right arm. No, he's attacking with his left arm. Okay, so we need to put so we'll leave that open because we're coming back to that. So it's on here, left arm, left forearm, left arm, left hand. Okay, so we'll start on the left hand and we'll put a socket there. So right click, add socket, double click, we're going to call it sock 1. I'm actually just going to leave it there, I think. I'm going to put the other one right at the end. So left hand again, right click, add socket, click on it, sock 2, and then grab it and place it at the end. Now remember, this can be annoying in 3D space, so you're just going to have to take your time, make sure you look around at all angles. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Well, look, yeah, it looks okay. We'll leave it like that for now. But of course, with everything, you can come back and adjust later on. So go back to the deal damage animation notification state. That's fun to say. And just plug these into the mesh component. Right, so we know the names are sock 1 and sock 2. Now, will we have a problem? Because no, we shouldn't do. So let me just see if this works. So radius, we want to set that to 10. I'm going to go a little bigger actually on this one, 15. Visibility, camera, trace, for duration. So compile, go to the mutant swiping. Just hide this stuff, don't restore. Okay, and then pause, find out where I think the animation or the damage would start to be dealt. So about here, and then I'm going to add the notify state, and it's the enemy deal damage. And then I'm going to drag that over to where I think it would end. So about here, to be honest with you. About there. All right, and then when we hit play, we can see it working. That looks cool. Okay, so pause, back to enemy deal damage, and then we want to come here and deal damage. No, apply damage, remember? Apply damage. And the base damage wants to be 0.25 again, let's say. And we could, say which is the damage actor here, but I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we did that for the player. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, we did, didn't we? Of course, because we have to do this. Yeah, sorry. So go to the content, go to anime, animations. Right, yeah, of course. So we've skipped a step here, and that is actually checking what we've hit. So on the out hit, drag out and break the hit result. And then from the hit actor, so the actor we hit, we want to drag out from that, and we want to cast to player BP, because we want to, is it the player that we've hit? And if it is the player we've hit, then that is the damaged actor. We've applied the amount of damage, and then we've got to go in and make sure they receive that damage and do set up all of the feedback stuff. So this is getting a little bit messy, so I'm just going to close some stuff. Close that, don't need that. Don't need the player deal damage, but I do need the player open. So let's go to content, player, blueprints, player. Okay, so we need a variable called take damage. Okay, and we're going to right click and we're going to type any damage, event any damage. And if we take damage, see, we've already got this code in the enemy, so we can just refresh our memory. Attack. So let's have a look. So we set our take damage to be true. Spawner emitter, we do it once, and even though this stuff is not perfect, we're going to do this in a different way on another pass through of this, or another version of this. But for now, this is fine. So what we want to do is we want to set take damage to be true. I've just know, are we ever? Yeah, there. So take damage to be true, and then we want to apply damage. No. Is that it? We just spawn the emitter. Okay, yeah, because it's Now here though, I think we're going to have to drag out and do some math. So we want a float minus a float, and we want the damage minus our health, which we haven't got yet. So we need to create a health variable. We need to make that a float, and then hit compile, and then come down here and set that to be 1. Okay, so 1 is 100%, 0 is 0%. So we start with 100%, but we want to minus the damage from health. Okay, and then we're going to set the health variable, and we're going to do that after that. So we set take damage to be true, and then we do the damage. We'll have to go back into the enemy and do that as well, I would have thought. Okay, once we've done that, we want to spawn emitter at location. We'll just use the impact one again. Okay. And the location, we will create a arrow for that. Well, the emitter location. Okay. And so we'll drag in the emitter location and type get world location. Plug that into the location. And again, I'm going to scale this up maybe to 2 so that it's decent size. Hit compile. Let's have a little look at that. So we should spawn an emitter now, which we do, but we don't play any sort of animation, which we need to. So let's do that. So go into the player folder, animations. Let's go into the player anim BP, which is this one, and go to the locomotion graph, and we need to add state, and we need to take damage. Open that up, and we have an impact animation here. And are we going to do it with a blend? I'm not sure. We'll look at that in a bit. Go to the event graph. Make sure you've compiled everything, or it will not show up in your graph or in this. So drag out from cast to player BP. Get what have I called it? Get take damage. Get take damage. Drag out. Promote it to a variable. Call it damage. And there we go. We've got to do the transitional rules, of course. So go back to locomotion. We seem to have a little. There we go. So we need to be able to go from take damage back to idle walk run. So I'll drag that back. Okay, so the transitional rule here is damage true? Get, and then equal. Is it true? If it is true, transition. If it's not true, transition back. So damage, get, set. No, what am I doing? Damage, get, drag out, equal boolean, plug that in, and this is the false. Okay, so let's just go back. And if you hover over them, it'll tell you. So damage, yeah. Okay. So that should be everything. It should now play the damage animation, but we should be able to move while it's playing because we haven't told. But yeah, we do. Oh, and it plays repeatedly because we're never setting it to be false. So let's find the length of this animation. So the impact animation is 0.7 seconds long. So I'm going to go into the player BP. After we've spawned the emitter, we're going to have a delay. That delay is going to be 0.6 seconds. I always like to make my delay a little less than the actual length of the animation. It seems to work better. Then we will go and take damage set to be false. Now I think we're going to have to make this a blend space in order for it to work properly. So let's go into the take damage and set everything up like we've done before. So drag in the player blend space, drag out. We want a layered blend per bone. Plug that one into that one, plug that into there. But we've got to go and set up the layer blend per bone. So in the layer setup, hit this if it's not open, then the plus, then the arrow. Now we know this is spine with a capital S, but you can go and check that. And then I'm just going to set the blend depth to be 3 and hit this mesh space rotation, compile. Now, I should be able to walk away while I'm taking damage and it still makes sense. That blend doesn't seem to work for some reason. Go to the BP. Because we haven't plugged anything into the speed variable, so we just need to grab that and hit compile. And then we should be able to walk and take damage, which we can. All right, let's have a look at the time. Okay, so we'll wrap that one up there. But now we've got all the we've basically got the full loop in, right? Except for us being able to die, and we'll do that in the next one. The enemy being able to die, us being able to die. Oh, he's missing us. Okay. I think I just need to make that sphere a little thicker so that he doesn't miss. I'll just do that quickly. So content, anime, animations, deal damage, and we can just do that by setting this radius to be 20. Oh, not 200, 20. He'll never miss us if it's 200. And that way, I think even if I'm just underneath him here, he still should, be able to hit me. That improves that. Okay, so we'll do all the death states and the ragdoll stuff next in the next video. And then we'll wrap. We'll give her a magic attack, I think. And then we're not going to do too much more with this. We just wanted to set up one-on-one combat. And then we're going to do a more advanced character creator. But actually, I was thinking about doing like an animal character after this, like a dragon that can fly, because I've got some dragon assets. And then going on to a more advanced humanoid character. Okay, leave it there.